if you look at past cultures, and one of the things I was reading this article, and I don't care if people come at me, but it was looking at all the past civilizations, and the downfall started when homosexuality became the norm in the society, because it started to lead to other things, which we're seeing now. So we're talking about Atlantis, we're talking about the Greek culture, we're talking about the Roman culture. It went back and talked about all of these civilizations, Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? So it's not going to end, and it's not going to end well. If past history has told us that this is the end of civilization, and again, these are not my words, so how you cut this up in the clips and stuff too, people can come at me. It's not me saying this. It just led to other immorality. And then where do you stop?
Welcome back, everybody. This is the DC Talks podcast with David Chinelli. Welcome back for a brand new episode. This is episode 72, man. 72. We're like close to a quarter there. A year in. Man, DC, always a pleasure podcasting with you.
Hey, maybe we'll open that champagne for the 100th.
The Bel Air skis.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. We'll do it together. Hey, there you go.
Birthday, this is going to be past your birthday month by the time this comes out. But yeah, man. How you doing?
Good, man.
Good?
I look good. I don't think I got the DC,
look good. You got DC
sweater on, I just had a little Nike sweater going on.
It's a tech fleece, man. You know what? Remember tech fleece used to be like $200? Like if you got the matching pants with
I do have the matching pants. I have a DC logo on them too. I do have them.
I was like, when did Nike like for a jumpsuit become $300?
Damn, I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's criminal out here, man. And we spoke
about.
When
did Jordan's getting to be like $260 starting?
Yeah, I think back in the day they used to be like $100, $80, $90.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but we got a very interesting topic to discuss today, and it's been something I've been noticing for the past five or 6 years. I think with more social media coming out, with more access to things and things going on with the elites and everything behind closed doors. And I know you are a big advocate for the degeneracy that's happening behind closed doors that people might not even know about what's going on. The celebrities, the elites, the presidents, it's people you don't even think have this capacity, but it's not becoming even more mainstream now to promote this, and we're starting to normalize that. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, that is pedophilia.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm laughing at that. Sorry, sorry, guys. I'm in the middle of a message here for David's work as well. Guy. I'm always working, as you know. This is a topic that has been very unfortunately near and dear to my heart because I have kids.
You have two girls.
I have two girls. Yeah. I went to a high school, which we found out had with the same mics, there was some pedophilia going on there too. Like
from the teacher level,
the priest and stuff too. So when you see celebrities and stuff now, and you're seeing that you see the groups. It was called MAMBLA, Men and Boys Alliance, whatever it's called, and they're trying to promote pedophilia. And you see tech talks about women talking about how pedophilia just should be a sexual preference.
Yeah.
And then now all things are going to cover from the elites, which I've been talking about for 15 years when I was first getting into the what's quote unquote a conspiracy theories. Now they're not so much conspiracy anymore.
You've been on this.
And it's disgusted me from day one. Disgusted me. And I'm just like, I look at my child and I am absolutely disgusted. Like, who thinks that that's a good thing? I hate to say this for my Muslim friends too, but even Muhammad, and being a 50-year-old man, married a woman who's a girl who was 6 years old, but didn't have consensual sex. They said until she was 9. So this has been going on, and he was in elite status. Like, to me, that's absolutely disgusting. I don't get and it was documented that he was one of his many wives. So it's been going on for a long time. Like, we see it in our present day now, but it's like, come on, like, you're supposed to be a religious leader too, and pedophilia was okay back then. But even wait a second, and let's even go back even further. The Greeks. So the Greeks, the philosophers used to have sex with their young boys at their proteges, and that's how they bestowed knowledge on them.
My skin crawls when I hear these type of things because it is just so sick.
You're ruining that child
forever.
There's no amount of therapy that you can take that'll take away that scarring. You're ruining that child.
Yeah.
and other generations. And sometimes those ones that are being abused become the abusers. So it's just feeding into, and how many people more are they going to abuse? And it just keeps leading on to other abuse and more abuse and more abuse.
You know, what I find surprising is the way that it got infiltrated to the church, because it's such a juxtaposition when you're thinking about, you know, we're talking about God, we're talking about religion here, right? And then you have the people who are the biggest proponent of living like a very clean, supposedly
outward looking, but if you know, you know.
Yeah. And then the most sickos out, the biggest sickos out here. What share your insights into that, because you've read more about this, you know what goes on. When did the church start becoming so
I think it's always been
defiant?
part of it. I think it's
from day one.
I think it's from day one. Listen, the Catholic Church started from Constantine. Constantine was a sun worshiper. He was the, and you can go back into times, you Google yours as well. But he was a pagan sun worshiper, right? And he saw that he was a Roman ruler, and he saw that he was losing the battle to Christianity. So he decided to not change paganism. What he says, they sprinkled holy water on paganism and made the Catholic Church. That's why they switched the day from Saturday, which is the true God's Sabbath day, is still Saturday, 7th day of the week. 7th day of the week is Saturday. That's what it is. That is God's day. It's part of the 10 commandments. It's part of it's the 10th. It's one of the commandments. Absolutely. It is God's day. Well, Constantine, as a sun worshiper, changed, and he canonized, or he sprinkled holy water and said, oh no, we can now worship on this Sunday. And to me, the reason why I left the Catholic Church and I haven't joined in other churches, I haven't found any church which wasn't infiltrated by the Catholic Church or had some sort of influence from the Catholic Church. Because as soon as I find out you're worshiping on a Sunday, I'm out. And I don't agree. We talked about Seventh-day Adventists. There's issues with the Seventh-day Adventists too. But anyway, if you're not taking God's law, as he said to me, is a problem. So there's a lot of practices in the pagan religion. A lot of it revolves around sex. So if you look at any religious church or Catholic Church, you see the words IHS. And they'll tell you it's in his service. In reality, it's their unholy trinity: Isis, Horus, Set. And that goes back to the phallic symbols, the penis and the vagina, which is in St. Petersburg, which is a pagan phallus, where the Washington Monument is a phallus symbol. Their whole religion, Isis is the woman, is the head of the church. Horus was the husband, and then he was ripped apart of pieces, and his penis was ripped off. They could never find it, and then they made this phallic symbol of which she had sex with him afterwards, and they have the sun set. So their whole religion is based on sex. So of course, if you have a pagan religion based on sex and you just baptize it, let's call it, and start calling a pagan religion Christianity, it's still going to have undertones of sexual misconduct. If you looked at Saturnalia, which is the sun, which is Christmas, that was outlawed in many, many countries because all the debauchery, the amount of sex and orgies and animals, kids, and disgusting things happening over there. And now they call it Christmas, and they change it with the Yule logs and burning human sacrifices, all this stuff too. These are things that they condone from the beginning of time. So you're trying to tell me now the Catholic Church wasn't aware of that? That's part of their origin. Right? And it's not far off to say, like, it's part of their origin. This is who they are.
Yeah, this is who they've been. Going back to what you said earlier, right? We're talking about the TEDx talk, right?
Oh,
so
God.
The woman, are we
going to play that clip in this?
Yeah, we can insert it.
Okay, so insert the clip there, because I want to just. So I was on, I think it was Facebook, and I just said, in this clip. But anyway,
the lady's name is Miriam Heine, and she had a TEDx talk which is titled "Pedophilia is a Natural Sex Orientation." Essentially, she's arguing that it should be seen as an unchangeable sex orientation. And when you hear that, such a statement that's being made, like, what are the thoughts that come into mind? Because now we're entering a place where we have all these different genders. You can be gender fluid. You could be non-binary. You could be all these different things. And now you're adding pedophilia as a sexual orientation. So gay, straight, pedophilia. And
it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Then why not throw bestiality in there? Why not throw incest in there too? Since we're going in there, let's just do this.
Just toss it in.
Toss in there. Let's go. We'll have multiple partners. What's it called? When the Mormons have many wives, polygamy. Yeah, let's throw polygamy in there too. Where do you stop?
It's not going to stop, and I feel like we've opened up a can of worms with allowing truth to go out the window. It's now seen as you're uncomfortable calling out things as they are. You just gotta like be reclusive and just kind of back up and like, I know what my eyes are telling me, but I gotta disagree with that just to make everybody else uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's the thing now that with this sexual orientation, I can't call out what's disgusting. I can't call out a pride parade and I'm seeing a little 6-year-old girl with a grown man waving his privates in front of her. Like that is now, and that's you see, that's where this sexual orientation thing, it's going to become a thing. Because if we're allowing that right now and we're seeing all these parents with little kids allow that, then how far, like what's too far if that's too far?
There is no end. Mm-hmm. There is no end.
There's none.
Yeah, so I just don't see it ending well. And I don't see it ending well for anybody. You know, if you look at past cultures, and one of the things I was reading this article, and I don't care if people come at me, but it was looking at all the past civilizations, and the downfall started when homosexuality became the norm in the society, because it started to lead to other things, which we're seeing now. So we're talking about Atlantis, we're talking about the Greek culture, we're talking about the Roman culture. It went back and talked about all of these civilizations, Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? So it's not going to end, and it's not going to end well. If past history has told us that this is the end of civilization, and again, these are not my words, so you know how you cut this up in the clips and stuff too, and people can come at me. It's not me saying this, but I got to find.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. But they're saying one that begins, and it was because it just led to other immorality, and then where do you stop? Right now, I have gay and lesbian friends. I have, you know, we're not saying, I don't even know what we're saying there too. I have no problems with it. I have nothing. You do what you need to do. Like, I don't care about your sexual, and even some of my clients are amazing people. I'm just telling you what I read, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah. I think I figured it out. I think the issue people like you and even me, we have is we are taking a minority, like a 1% group of people, and we are taking their ideologies, the way they're living, and we are trying to force it on the majority. And if you call it out as blasphemous, if you say that's not right, you're being chastised for in all kinds of ways, from like family, friends, economically, you're going to lose a lot of, you know, things coming your way. And I don't know why this is becoming a thing. And it goes back to what we was talking about, like the whole thing, we're trying to pull everything away from God. We're trying to pull things away from the, you know, the way things are supposed to be. And someone can come and challenge us, be like, what makes your way the way that things are supposed to be, right? And that's also a fair thing to ask.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. So it is fair. And that's what I say I'm just telling what would have happened in the past. Now, I'm not condemning that. I'm not saying people shouldn't be gay, lesbian, and all that stuff too. That's not what we're saying too. But I think it's how society reacts to it, and how then once one thing gets accepted, which is not seen as the norm, it becomes a slippery slope. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, because I think that's what the author was alluding to. Again, we're not saying that it was this sole act of gay and lesbian that's why the society started to go down. It's what followed after that, right? The sheer acts of it too. So we have to be careful where we're going down this path. Pedophilia is way different than
it's everywhere now.
Bisexual, like lesbian, like listen, at the end of the day, first of all, it's illegal, and it should be illegal. Like when you're gay or lesbian or bisexual, we are assuming two consensual adults, hopefully fully, you know, developed in their brain. Or if you have like two 13-year-olds, I guess that's consensual. It is what it is. But at least people the same age are in the same, like they're consenting. This, when we're talking about gay pride and all this stuff too, when I hear that, I'm thinking it's consensual. How can a 6-year-old could be consensual to sex, or somebody younger, like a 3-year-old or younger, whose frontal cortex is not developed?
Frontal lobe.
Yeah.
Frontal lobe, right?
Yeah.
Cortex lobe.
The brain. The
Something.
frontal brain.
Yes.
When that's, to be honest, males don't get developed until they're in their 20s anyway.
Past 25,
past
right?
25, I was going to say.
Did you, by the way, on that, did you ever, like, once you passed 25, like, you just feel like you got smarter, or like,
of course,
something just clicked and you just start
you
seeing the
became more
BS.
mature.
Yes. Yeah.
Totally. You're such a child. Before 25, you don't realize how much of a child
Man, you're
you
naive, man. Like,
Damn,
you think you know everything, and then
you're full of all piss and vinegar and hormones and
wet behind the ears and everything. Like, for me, I touched 27, and I feel like there's like a fog that was lifted off my eyes.
I'll tell you, like, as you get older, it continues to get lifted if you're open to it. Yeah.
Really?
Of course, your brain is not fully developed. Now you start to learn things which you thought, like, what the hell? In my 46 years, and saying, I look back at my 25 and like,
you're like, what the hell was I doing?
Like, there's
cringe.
like utter stupidity. And you even thinking that you remember what the things you thought back then.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a 25-year-old. What about a 4 or 5-year-old? Like, so,
and we're molding.
Not to mention too. Sorry, going back to the brain. What happens with pedophilia is there's trauma to the brain of the child. It could split personalities. It splits your alters and stuff. And that's what the elite, that's what they want to do. That's, if you look at Project Paperclip, if you read the Transamerica story where she talks about as a sex trained slave, that was their goal. To take a child and split their personalities so they can use their other alters as, they're actually trying to create an army. They would say a word and they would trigger their alter. And in order to be able to split your personality, you had to introduce some sort of trauma.
Yeah.
Well, this is a trauma. So any child who's against their will is having sex is, and I think most of them, because they don't know what's going on, even if they say yes, are still against their will. You are splitting that kid's personality. You are altering the chemical compounds or the wiring in their brain. 100%. There is no good because you want to get off on a child, which is absolutely disgusting to me. But you want to get off on a child and that you don't think it's going to have repercussions for that child?
Yeah, there's a study that shows too that the early years between 4 years old to 7 years old, that window, you can mold a kid into anything. Religion is more impressionable to them. That's when they really learn language, right? They actually, okay, this is, I can speak Italian, I can speak whatever, I can speak Swahili. You really mold their character. Anything you say to them, anything that you do to them, they'll never forget it, right? And the elites know this, and they're pushing it. This pedophilia, even one of the notes I was telling you is that they've infiltrated television shows now. They used to do it subtly back in like Cartoon Network. You'd watch like Tom and Jerry, and they'll have like a broomstick come up and it will mimic an erection.
Well, look at all of Disney. Disney's is all around sex.
It's all for exactly.
And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like so I won't talk to one. Like if you go look at the old poster for the mermaid, in the middle there's a penis, in the middle there too. Then they photoshopped out. In the Lion King, they formed the word sex. And I think it was Cinderella with the mice. There's a pornographic picture on the back there too. And Little Mermaid, when they're on the boat and talking with the guy who's marrying them, the pastor, he's got a heart on. There's some it goes on. Disney is disgusting. It was, and to talk about pedophilia in the elites. He was a known Mason.
Even Epstein. Remember in one cartoon, like the one guy, he's taking the kids as he's watching them, and one misbehaves, and then he's just like, he says, "We're taking you to Necker Island or Center Island."
That was Pinocchio.
Pinocchio, right?
And they talked about what they're going to do to the kids in the island when they misbehave. And
misbehave.
So
it's subtle.
It's subtle. It's been going on for a very, very long time. And like, let's be honest, Epstein didn't kill himself.
I think he's alive.
I think he's alive.
Yeah, they're like, yo, you did us a solid by going away. We're not gonna unlive you.
Yeah,
like that.
It's I 100%
under the table.
Listen, I think what you want, like either if he is dead, he did definitely not kill himself. Which I don't. I'm 50-50. I don't feel like I think they got him out there quickly, and that's it. I don't think he was killed either. But I'm 50-50. If he shows up dead, I'm like, well,
maybe they took him beyond the dome, beyond the ice wall, into the other lands.
Yeah. Here we go. But it's hilarious how, like how they keep trying to distract us with like there's no names ever come out. The names come out, people like they're on the list.
Yeah.
And nothing's ever happened to them.
Nothing.
Really? Like what's going to happen? Like look at like even Harvey Weinstein after that. Like it was well known. They were making fun of him in the Oscars and saying, "Oh, you're going to go to Harvey Weinstein's room," like when he was not even charged with anything. Yeah. And it was well known back then that he was abusing actresses and actors and stuff. That he was abusing people, and they thought it was a joke. Do you think really things going to happen to them? No.
Nothing.
It's all part of their culture. It's all part of the satanic culture which they have. And it's now just, we are getting exposed to it more and more because I think that's what they want.
On the Harvey Weinstein side of things, entertainment, a major thing that's been coming up the past couple of weeks is the whole Diddy thing. And we haven't really had a chance to talk about it, but now that you've had all the information that you've been able to consume and all the stories and all the videos, what are your thoughts on that?
I think he pissed off somebody, and that's why they finally they turned the tables on him. Or because they've been talking about how I've heard like gay things about him for the longest time.
50 Cent's been at this. He's been long time. And
his old bodyguard's been telling him, like, I have video of him, like, with Malik Malik. Was it Malik? And he's been telling about it for years. We've known about this stuff for years. So I think of one of two things happened. One, he didn't pay off the right people. He didn't fall in line. So like, all right, so we're going to expose you. Or two, this was always part of the agenda to expose and say, this is already happening, people. So, and again, Satan only gets his dues if he exposes things, and he don't do anything about it. Is anything going to happen to Diddy? Absolutely not. I don't think so.
Nothing's going to happen. You know why I think nothing's going to happen either?
Why would anything happen to him? He's already paid off the cops, in which they said he's already killed Biggie. If you look at the video, like let's say, I 100% believe he killed Biggie. If he didn't pull the trigger himself, he was definitely part of the whole conspiracy. The way that he acted about that too, and he's made a lot of money off it. So, and then they had that other person, which was in the lawsuit where he killed in the bathroom. Him and his son killed in the bathroom, and he paid off all of the police.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there like nothing's ever happened to him. He's never going to get charged again. So that makes me believe that this is just another thing, saying, just exposing that this is what we could do.
We're talking about this whole Diddy thing, right? And I think there's a whole lineage of people who are implicated. There's been this, you and I on TikTok a lot. There's this one conspiracy lady, like she actually predicts a lot of things before they happen. You've seen her, right? She has short hair, blonde hair. She's
that Auntie?
Auntie, yes. And she was saying they got Diddy. Jay-Z's next. Jay-Z and Beyonce are gonna
heard that one too.
Right? Insights on that.
If they actually get caught, thank God. I've been saying how much I've been disgusted with those two people, like with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like I can't listen to her music. I don't know if it's God talking to me. Like literally, she puts on my ears to start to bleed.
Yeah.
Like I can't even listen to Destiny's Child. And anytime it's on the Peloton and that music, I turn the music off. I literally cannot listen to that woman speak, like talk at all. And you see all the demonic things that she's done in the past. And people don't realize that stuff that she's saying too, how every time she's having like a photo shoot, something, she is portraying some sort of goddess of goddess of fertility, goddess. It's always some sort of goddess, which is against God, right? There's only one God. Then she talked in that one poem where she had, then she's talking, using the Bible to use as for when she's menstruating and ripping and having like out of body experiences. And I'm like, guys, she's basically telling you she's demonic. Then you got Jay-Z and like, what's the Empire, the song,
Empire State of Mind?
Yeah, Empire State of Mind. He's like, Jesus can't save you. Yeah. Your life begins when the church ends. They've been saying it for a very long time. So if something acts, I don't believe anything because this world is run by the devil. I don't believe anything is going to actually happen to them because they are fulfilling the devil's will. Yeah. And I guess technically they have that protection because otherwise why they would have done that. Yeah, but they don't know that they're going to be the ones laughing. We're the ones who are going to be laughing in the end.
I feel like we're being played every single day.
All the time.
I feel like we don't even know what the truth is anymore.
Well, think about it. Even with the pedophilia thing, they're pushing it to see what our reaction is. There's not a big uproar.
They're testing us.
They're testing you.
Testing you. Yeah.
Well, like Look at little Nas X. Like when he started off, he put his toe into like the and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's doing lap dances on a video with the devil. And I'm like, where did that come from? Well, he dipped his toe in. He's a little more and like, oh, he didn't say anything. Bam. You know, like here you go. Here's what my true colors are.
Yeah. Right.
So they're testing us with pedophilia.
Yeah.
I've been hearing for 15 years that they're like, don't be surprised that this will become mainstream. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, yeah, little by little, it's been happening.
Yeah. It's so mainstream now that even they're selling sex dolls now, man, of children on Amazon. Amazon, a silicone lip. I've said enough.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like that actually hurts my heart.
Yeah. One mom in 2020 found out that her daughter's likeness was turned into a sex doll on Amazon, man.
So it's not bad enough that we have sex trafficking. We have more slaves in the world now than we've ever had in the history of the world. They're sex slaves.
They're sex slaves.
And people don't realize you need to wake the fuck up. We have more slaves that are against their will doing inhumane acts with kids and stuff being thrown like trash. And now we have sex dolls and this too, so people can get their rocks off. And that just, unfortunately, you know what I believe? If these people buy these sex dolls, it's just going to be a matter of time before they're going to grab children. It's just going to be a matter of time.
That's why a lot of people now, you're advised not to photograph your kids and put them on IG. You know,
the worst thing in the world you can do is tell the school you went down, your kid's name. Like we learned that for a long time. Like one time I posted something and Natalie's like, get that down from Instagram. I'm like, why? She's like, took a picture of our kid in front of her school. Well, what's the big deal? It's like, they're going to know what school they go to. They're going to know what grade or something. You see in the beginning of the year, parents, when the new school year starts, do not, and I repeat, do not get those chalkboards, put your kid's name on it, tell them what grade they're going to be in, what school they're going to be in, what teacher.
What teacher.
You are giving, unfortunately, you're giving those people access to your child. It might be cute. If you take that picture, keep it separate. Do not post on social media.
There's some sick people out here.
And even if you think, you know, oh, my social media is just my local friends, I'm private, it can still get out. It's still on the internet. There's still ways to hack into your accounts. There's still ways of getting access to that child, the information. If you love your child, don't do that, please. Please just. I know I might sound like I'm like raising an alarm, which is not there. How do you think people get access to these kids? For me, just do it for me at least. Just do it for me.
Just do it for the kids, man. Even for the kids, they're not choosing this. And this is one of the things I wanted to ask you. I'm like, what do you think about kids having Instagram accounts for parents having Instagram? The baby's not even. I'm like, yo, this kid, it's a baby, and you're already making an Instagram IG account for him, like. What?
So one thing I thought was cool, which I think you should do, start an email with your child for your child when they're born.
Yeah.
And then you email the child all the pictures and stuff as they're growing up. So when they're of age, they get then that's kind of cool because it's not social. I think that's kind of cool. That's a really cool idea.
Fire,
So everything. So like saying, instead of my wife, I'm like, oh, here's a picture. You email it to your daughter or your son. Email. And by the time they get of age, like then they have a whole chronological order. Like, that's fucking cool. You know, and it's for yourself. And then later, if you're 18 years old, you want to share, look at the cool kids. Look what my parents did when they were a kid every year. Say you do something like, here's my birthday pictures, here's my kid. You have everything access to that. And I think that's pretty cool. Right?
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
All right.
But you don't need to put them out there like that. That's my thing.
Not everybody needs to see your children. Social media should be 18 and older.
And they're profiting from their kids.
That's right.
You see those moms who like they pretend they're waking up in the morning and the camera is just prime time. It's already they're recording and showcasing like I wouldn't say
children are props.
They're props.
Your children are props.
It's a way to make money now. So people having kids and they're not even married yet. And listen, this is my opinion, right? So if you're gonna have kids without being married, it's cool. But what I'm saying is this is that you lot are getting married, having a kid, and then using that to come up on TikTok. Everything's for content these days.
So are you talking about the breastfeeding one?
Yes, the breastfeeding one too.
All right, so I didn't realize this, but I was seeing these breastfeeding accounts on my end, and
They
somebody
just
brought it
popped
to my
up.
attention. Like, that's not a real baby. They're promoting their OnlyFans account. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then, sorry, Nat, but I looked a little bit further, and I go, oh, sure enough, like those, there was no real baby. I'm like, why is breastfeeding showing up in my, for you page, wherever it is, like things you might find interesting? Turns out that's and you click on one of them, you get a whole bunch of breastfeeding. Some of them are legit breastfeeding. I'm like, but they just want to show their titties. But I don't get it.
But why are they so pressed to be breastfeeding? And they were actually revolting about this. They're saying that we should be allowed to normalize breastfeeding. This whole normalized breastfeeding account, like, no, it's like you're normalizing again porn. You're showcasing your titty out there, and you're masquerading as if like it's a kid. You're breastfeeding your kid, but
it's a doll.
It's a doll. It's a doll. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see your boob.
I would say 90%. I didn't realize this. I'm like, I never paid attention because I didn't know. Like, and I think it was Chris who told me. He goes, those are fake babies. Because I was said it was a joke. He's like, he's just sending breastfeeding stuff, and I was like, he goes, that's she's promoting her OnlyFans account, and I thought he was joking.
Cool Coach was telling you this.
Yeah, I think it was Cool Coach who told me this, and I was like, sure enough, he was right.
Yeah.
Imagine that. What kind of a sick society we have right now that people are getting off of?
A bunch of sickos, man. Sickos.
So you're like, oh.
Yeah.
We can open a can of worms here.
We can go deep. But DC, as we work towards wrapping up, right? I feel like this promotion of sex and music is to put us in a low vibrational state. You really think about music, the vibrational frequency, and I've always told you this.
Yes, you have. You brought this up a lot.
432 frequency is the healing frequency. You get past 440 hertz, and it's everywhere. It's in they embed it in every, and that really brings you your state of mind, which it's a magnet for.
And what do they also add in there with all this popular music? What are the chants that they do? Have you paid attention to the chants that they do over and over again?
No, like there's
nah, rah, rah, rah,
yep.
la, la, la.
Ga, ga, rah, like Lady Gaga.
Those are all God's names.
Yeah.
Not our God. Ra, the God of the sun. Nala, Nana. And they're repeating over and over again. So when you repeat a God's name over and over again, you're giving access to you for demonic possession. I'm like, I was watching this video and I always knew something was wrong. And I remember I picked up on that where Lady Gaga was singing Bad Romance, where she said, rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, I turned to Natalie, this is years ago. And I'm like, she's chanting to the God Ra. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Ra's a God. She goes, what's just the lyric? I'm like, well, then why are they repeating it over and over again? Oh, and then there's others, and it goes on. Rihanna's done it a number of times. Like listen to all her music. And there was this video the other day. Which is spit. There was a video the other day, and it talked about this specific thing, which I was talking about years ago, and I touched on it. And I think I talked about one of my videos, like just about a Chanelli chat. And I said, be careful what music you listen to, because you may be opening yourself up to demonic possession or demonic rights, because you are calling on a God, which is not the true God. So subconsciously, what's happening is when you're subconscious about it too, subconsciously you're giving the power for them to take over your soul, or bowing down to them, or giving them homage, which again, we know is only for the one true God, our Trinity, Lord and Savior, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Yahweh, Yeshua,
baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll close with those notes and say, be careful the music you listen to, because it's not uncommon that all these people, if they all said, even Rihanna said, she was, oh yeah, I've given my soul. Katy Perry, like we all know, like they've all said that they've sold their souls. Yeah. We should start believing them, listening to what they're saying.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed episode 72 of the DC Talks podcast with Mr. David Chanelli. I've been your gracious host, Mr. Agent 00. I gotta bring that back, man. We're bringing that back from that. We're making that. We're bringing back to life like Lazarus, man. Anyways, everyone, we'll see you next week, and have a great week. Ciao, man.